Welcome to the 2020 Rosyth School Mathematics Prelim Paper 1 Booklet B answers. Grab your pens and papers and let's get started. Then list all the common factors of 20 and 35. So common factors are done this way. Okay, so 1 times 20 is 20, 2 times 10 is 20, 3 times nothing is 20, so I'm not going to put 3. 4 times 5 is 20. And then 5 times 4 is 20, so we are at the end of it. And 35, 1 times 35, 3 cannot, 2 also cannot, 4 cannot, 5. Okay, 6 cannot, 7 can, but 7 is the same as this, so we stop. So list down all the common factors. Common means what? It means same. So let's circle all the same numbers, same digits, 1 and 5. Okay. Let's move on to question 17. Express 3.2 as a percentage. So when we want to express a number as a percentage, we have to multiply by 100. So we can simply take 3.2 to multiply by 100. Okay. Take note that 3.2 is the same as 3.20, or I can add as many zeros at the front or at the back as possible, as long as my decimal place don't change. So if I want to multiply by 100, I'll move to the right hand side by 2 spaces because there's 2 zeros. So that's what I'm going to do. So my answer will be 320. Okay? Very straightforward. Question 18. At a carnival, 215 toys were sold in 4 days. How many toys were sold on Tuesday? So how many spaces are there here in between 0 and 10? There are 2 spaces, right? That means each space is 5. Okay? Monday has 20. Wednesday has 80. Thursday has 50. Okay, so what I need to do is to take 20 plus 80 plus 50. Okay, 20 plus 80 is 100, so 150. So this is the total for Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, I will just need to take my total, which is 215, to minus away 150, and I will get my answer. Okay, let's move on to question 19. The figure below shows a solid that is made up of 1 cm cubes. Find the volume of the solid. Before we find out the number of cubes, let's find out the volume of 1 cube first. Okay, so it is length times breadth times height, which is all 1 cm. So 1 times 1 times 1 is just 1 cm cube. Okay, so how many cubes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so there are a total of 17 cubes. So what we need to find, the next step will just be 17 times 1 cm cube. My answer will be 17 cm cube. That's it. Okay, let's move on. Complete symmetric figure below with PQ as the line of symmetry. I'm going to use a thicker pen to do this, okay? So this is cut diagonally, so we just need to shade here. Okay, and there you have it, it's symmetrical. Okay? In exams, when you have your physical paper, what you can do is actually just flip your paper. Okay? When you flip your paper, you can see it closely. Okay? For those who cannot see why this is symmetrical this way. Let's move on to question 21 together. Find the value of 7 divided by 8. So we have to use long division and it's going to look like that. Okay, so one thing to note is that 7 is the same as 7.00. No matter how many zeros I put, it will still be a value of 7. So let us start doing the long division, okay? Okay, so our answer is 0.875 and we need to correct to 2 decimal places. So we underline the second decimal place and then we look to our right side. If it's 5 and above, we got to round up, and in this case it's 5, so we need to round up. So my 7 becomes 8. Okay, so that's our answer. rounded off to 2 decimal place. Okay, let's move on. The figure below not drawn to scale is formed using 2 identical squares, okay, and 2 identical large equilateral triangles, okay, and 2 small equilateral triangles. The length of the square is 15. Find the perimeter of the figure. Okay, so this question is something that if you practice a lot, you do a lot of assessment book, you will be able to see how to do this. But for those who don't know, just listen carefully, okay? I'm going to show you something. So this is 15, right? Because it's one side of the square. And this is also 15. Okay? So total it's 30. Okay? So I'm going to start drawing lines. 30 is made up of 1 small equilateral triangle and 1 large equilateral triangle. Can you see? So let me repeat. This part is a small equilateral triangle, and this part is the large equilateral triangle, and they will add up to be 30. Okay, I don't know what is their measurements individually, but I know when they add up, they get 30 because 15 plus 15 is 30. Okay, so I'm gonna erase this part. I'm gonna start drawing. Okay, so 1 small equilateral triangle plus 1 large equilateral triangle gives you 30. Okay, so let's do it again. 1 small and 1 large will give you 30. Okay, one more time. 1 small plus 1 large will give you 30. Okay, let's do it again. 1 small plus 1 large will give you 30. Do you understand? Do you see how I'm doing this question? So I have 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30, okay, which is also equals to 30 times 4, which is 120. Okay, now I'm done with the triangular parts. Okay, I'm left with 2 other parts, which is this square here, 15, and this square here, 15. Okay, so very simple, I can just add it. Plus 15 plus 15. Okay, so it's just 120 plus 30 because 15 and 15 is 30, so it's 150 cm. Okay, so that's it. Question 23. Nicole had some sugar, and she used 1/5 kg of the sugar to make cupcakes and 1/3 of the sugar to make jelly, and she had 140 grams of sugar left. Okay, don't be confused by the 2 fractions. They are totally different things. Okay, this 1/3, if I draw a model, it's gonna be like that. Okay, it's gonna be here, jelly, 1/3. Okay, in this case, 1/5 kg of the sugar to make cupcakes. This 1/5 has no space here. We got to convert it to grams first. Okay, it's not part of this fraction here. Okay, unless we convert it into numerical values. Okay, so 1/5 kg is just 1/5 times 1000 grams. Okay, which is 1000 over 5, which is, I'm going to do the working here. Which is 200. Okay, so cupcakes, we used 200 grams of flour. Okay, and how much flour does she have left? She has 140 grams of flour. So that means these 2 units here is made up of 200 plus 140 grams. Okay, so 200 plus 140 grams equals to 340 grams. I need to find out how much sugar Nicole have at first. So what we need to do is to find out what's 1 unit. So over here we realize that 2 units is 340 grams. Let us find out what's 1 unit first. okay, which is 340 divided by 2. Nickel had 3 units, so I have to take 170 to multiply by 3. I'm going to get 510 grams, and that's my answer. Okay, questions like to confuse you by using fractions that mean different things. Okay, question 24. A, B, C, D, and D, E, F, A are identical trapeziums. AG equals to GO equals to OH equals to HD. Basically, this here forms 4 parts. Okay, I'm going to try and draw so that you guys can see it. Okay, so this is equal to this, is equal to this, is equal to this. Alright, so what fraction of the figure is shaded? Since they're the same, right, I can make them all into triangles. Okay, I'm going to do it and then you guys can see the end product. Okay, so what fraction of the figure is shaded? I have 2 triangles over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. And let us simplify this. Top, bottom divided by 2, I'm going to get 1 over 6. Okay, that's it. Question 25. Bridget is 12 years old now. Her cousin is 1 year younger than her. I'm going to do it here. So Bridget is 12 years old now. Okay, cousin for C is 1 year younger than her. So I'll just take 12 to minus y. Okay, so this is now. Find their combined age 5 years later in terms of y. So 5 years later, how old will Bridget be? Okay, so Bridget will be 12 plus 5, 17 years old. Okay, as every year go by, we increase our age by 1. So 5 years later will be plus 5. Same thing for the cousin. So the cousin is 12 minus y now, correct? We need to plus 5 also. Okay, let's rearrange it. 12 plus 5 minus y, which is 17 minus y. Okay. Combined age means we have to add both of them together. So 17 for Bridget plus 17 minus y for cousin. So total is 17 plus 17 is 34 minus y. Okay, my answer will just be 34 minus y years old. Got it? Let's move on to question 26. The table below shows the month of April in 1 year. So this is the month of April. Mr. Osman plans to attend a course 38 days after 12 April. I'm going to use a marker that is a thicker. So 12 April, it's here. Okay, circled. So let's continue. Which day will he be attending the course? So 38 days. One thing you can do, right, is just to manually count 38 days instead of trying to find a method out. Because in exams, I don't think you have that much time. Okay, I'd rather you spend the time to check your answers and yeah, basically check your answers. So let's count together, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. So on the 38th day, it will be a Friday. And that's how we get our answer in less than a minute. Question 27. James cut out a square and a triangle from a rectangular strip of paper as shown below. Square ABCD has an area of 81 cm square. So what's each side of the square? if this is 81 cm square, what times what give you 81? Which has the same number. Okay, there's only one option, which is 9 times 9. Okay, that means each side is 9 cm. So because this is paper 1, we can't use calculator, but and then we have to just use it according to how we calculate. Okay, in paper 2, if we see something like that, we can straight away type square root 81. Okay, but it's not too hard. We know our multiplication table, so let's move on. Square ABCD has the same parameter as triangle here. Okay, so if the parameter is the same, can we find the parameter of the square? Parameter of square equals to 9 times 4, because there are 4 sides, so we are going to get 36 cm. Okay, so they have the same parameter, so can we find out what is y exact? We can just take 36 minus 12 minus 14. Okay, so y exact equals to 36 minus 12 minus 14. Let's do our working here. We're gonna get 10 cm. So y exact is 10 cm. Find the area of this triangle. So the area is equals to half times what's my base? My base is 10, correct? And what's my height? It has to be perpendicular height. So my height is 9. Okay, so it's 90 over 2, which is 45. And that's why my answer is 45 cm square. Okay, question 28. In the square grid, PQ is a straight line. Okay, we can see it here. PQ forms one side of a rhombus, PQRS. So we have to finish drawing the rhombus. So one thing I like to do is to count the number of squares. Okay, so here there are 4 squares. And here there are 2 squares. So basically it's a 4 times 2 rectangle, and then I draw a diagonal line. So that's one method I always use. Okay, so let's start drawing. I'm gonna use maybe a green color. So this will be the 4 times 2. Can you see? I'm gonna finish drawing first. 4 times 2 again. And then the last 4 times 2. Okay, so see, this is the 4, and this is the 2 for this line, and then for this line this is the 4, and this is the 2. So that's basically how I like to do my drawing of rhombus or slanted lines, diagonal lines. Okay, I'm gonna have to erase this because I need to label R and S. Okay, I'll leave the 4 there. So PQ, this will be R, and this will be S, and that's how we're going to get our 2 marks. Okay, next one. Question 29. The figure below is made up of a parallelogram, ABOE. So when we see parallelogram, we should be happy because the angle opposite is the same. Okay, so if this is 112, this will also be 112. Okay, so the trapezium BCDO. Okay, so when we see a trapezium, that means we have parallel lines here, correct? And the angle in between parallel lines will be 180. So we can easily find out what's this angle. Okay, so they give you 112, 138. Find EOD. Where's EOD? EOD. Okay, so we have to find this big angle. So first thing we found is that EOB is 112 degrees because it's opposite angles in a parallelogram. And how do we find BOD? We can just take 180 degrees to minus 138 degrees because they are angles in between parallel lines. I'm going to do my working here because it's paper 1 and I can't use a calculator. So I'm going to get 42 degrees. This is 42 degrees, and we just need to add both of them out, and then we will have our answer. My answer will be 154 degrees. Okay, let's move on to the last question. Okay, question 30. At a carnival, 5 boys played darts at 2 stations from 9 AM to 10:30 AM. Okay, that's about 1.5 hours. And at any time, only 2 of them can play, while the other 3 boys have to sit there and watch. Okay? If each of them had the same amount of time playing darts, how many minutes did each boy play the game? Okay, as complicated as this might sound, it's really not that hard, and let me show you why, okay? So from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., it's a total of 1.5 hours, correct? And 1.5 hours equals to 60 minutes plus half an hour is 30 minutes, okay? So total is 90 minutes, okay? And this dartboard will be available for the boys to play for 90 minutes, correct? And this dartboard will also be available for the boys to play for 90 minutes, okay? Because both dartboards are being used by the 5 boys from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Do you understand? So in total, the dartboard will be operating for 180 minutes, okay? 90 plus 90. Do you understand? So if 5 boys used the dartboard for 180 minutes, how much time did each boy get? I just need to find out 1. So it's 180 divided by 5. Okay? And I'm going to get 36 minutes. That's it. My answer is 36. Okay? So we just need to find out we just have to find out how long the dartboards are operating, and we don't really need to know which boy played together with which boy or which boy was watching. Okay, we just need to do this because we just need to know the minutes. And congrats for finishing this paper. We're at the end. So over the next 2 days, I'll be uploading the next paper, which is Rosyth paper 2. And good job with this, seriously. Okay.